Welcome back, everybody, to Kon Heads. Today we're going to talk about Higurashi When They Cry. And joining me today is
Carlos,
Thomas,
and this is Jared. So let's dive into this. Carlos, do you want to give us like an intro, kind of what this is all about?
Head first.
I use this expression a lot, especially in our podcast.
This is a deconstruction
it's
anime.
It's a deconstruction anime.
Well, no, you have to get it right. This is a deconstruction.
Deconstruction.
Of a genre.
Of a genre, yes. This is a deconstruction of the slice of life genre. I personally love deconstructions. That's probably why I'm usually the ones recommending them, because I tend to find them. But yes, this is a deconstruction of...
Do you find them, or do they find you?
That's a good question.
They walk up to his door and go like,
Hey, watch me.
watch me.
Watch me. I'm like, no. Yes. But yeah, no, this one is it's amazing. I love this one. I watched 2-3 episodes of it and then bought the whole series.
Carlos actually introduced me to this one. Well, all the deconstruction ones.
Yeah.
But this was the first one.
Monica,
I've seen...
if you caught that podcast.
I've seen videos like on YouTube, most like gruesome,
gruesome death scenes,
most graphic death scenes. But I never really watched it until Carlos came over. He's like, "We're watching this," and I was like,
no,
"Okay."
Okay, you need to rewind. Okay, this is my first like big meeting with Carlos. Was when we first watched this anime, and he walks in with Richard. And if you've been listening to our podcast, you'll know Richard.
He was on the Trigon episode.
He was, and the Attack on Titan, but you couldn't hear him. Couldn't hear me either. But oh well. And Carlos walks in right behind Richard, and he gives us these two animes. One's Gungrave, and one's When They Cry. He's like, "Which one do you guys want to fucking watch?" And we're like, this one, I guess. And that was the introduction to Carlos, and we're like, "Hello, Carlos. How are you?"
With Carlos, it's either you want to watch a deconstruction that will blow your mind and kind of taint your life, or do you just want to watch a happy anime like Clannad or Air. Something that will make you happy for
that will also ruin your life.
That will also,
but in a different way,
destroy your emotions. Yeah. Yes, I do tend to have a niche for those. I love the animes that just really.
I don't know how you guys are alive.
Feel.
I'm sorry, with the amount of animes that you guys watch and the amount of like depressing animes that you guys watch, I don't know how you guys are alive.
Let me put it this way:
we've built a skin.
I've had to stop at times.
In average day life, I am very emotionless, and the beauty of most of the animes I watch is the few times I can actually feel. It's very sad and depressing.
Much like anime.
Most
anime.
Yes.
So, do you want to kind of give us the meat of this anime, like what it's about, what is it focusing on?
God,
what kind of genre is it? Oh, you already said slice of life.
It's a slice of life deconstruction. It's really hard to say what the meat of this is because the story plays out in arcs. Mostly the first season. Y'all have not seen the second season, which I have. So there's a bigger understanding of the conjoining of all this.
Apparently he's better than us.
Yes, I thought this was already discussed.
I was out of that meeting.
But no, it's of basically each part of this anime, like every few episodes, it's like the start of an arc and then the end of an arc. It basically goes to where if you could actually pull up a list of the arcs for me,
okay,
that'd be awesome.
How many are there? 5?
I believe there's 5. The first one, I believe, is the Spirited Away by the Demon arc. I actually want the list to make 100%. I'm not lying to myself.
The Demon Away chapter.
Yes. Spirited Away, Cotton Drifting, Curse Killing.
And Time Killing chapter.
Time Killing chapter.
So 4 in total?
Yes. Okay. But basically, after it starts off with showing the series following Keiichi, who is kind of the main protagonist in the series. It does technically shift. The anime does technically shift perspectives of the main character, but starting out it is Keiichi. And each arc, there are very specific reasons on why it shifts. I don't want to give away too much, but it does. You tend to focus on a different person to portray
perspective.
To have a different perspective of certain events. But each arc, the events don't unfold the same way.
Yeah.
They unfold
but there's kind of like an
differently.
underlining or overlining arc that it does correlate with it.
The basic formula for each arc is it starts off one way, something happens to trigger one of the characters to start
Acting weird.
exactly being insecure, not trusting their friends in some way, or acting out against them,
Or being scared.
exactly. And so basically that just kind of snowballs for whichever character, and usually ends up with several characters dying, all characters dying, or most of the characters.
You could even kind of say that it's one storyline, but it goes on to like a multiverse kind of approach to it, where
Well, each time it also repeats too. It repeats itself. It's like a time loop almost.
Yes.
Each time something else happens or something different happens, leading the events to leading for the whole arc events, and then it restarts itself.
Yes. And that actually plays into what the second series is about. You start finding out why the time is looping, and you start figuring out why we notice this.
And there's one person that does notice it.
Yes.
In the anime.
Yes. So we're going to go into a bit of spoiler stuff, so I'm going to say that right now.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Don't spoil them.
From
On
this
on the
point.
spoiler alert? You didn't want to spoil that?
No.
Surprise! It's a spoiler alert!
Oh wait, we never really introduced the characters. Before we get into that, we need to do that. The main character for the first arc, so we'll just go ahead and say he's the main character. Mostly the main focus for several of the arcs. And there are a few arcs where it deviates from this, but usually it's from his perspective most of the time.
Or including him. Or something focused around him involving the other characters.
Yes. Keiichi Mayabara.
Did you say Kuwabara? No, I'm just kidding.
Keiichi Mayabara. Probably butchered his name. Then we got Rena Ryugu. She is she's probably one of my favorites. She kind of gets crazy in all kinds of awesome ways.
That's the girl with the auburn hair, right? And the meat cleaver.
The girl who repeats herself, and yeah,
Auburn hair. Yeah.
yeah. And then we have Mion Sonozaki. Another spoiler, because this is actually a spoiler for the several episodes, and her sister Shion Sonozaki.
Oh.
Another Yu Yu Hakusho reference is that she looks like Botan.
Botan is a pig in Clannad. If there are other anime geeks out there, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I assume so, since they're listening to this podcast. So hey,
Probably.
Just saying, just in case we might be hitting a weird market here of people who are interested in people who like anime but don't watch anime themselves.
Especially because we have an Attack on Titan podcast. So we probably got them.
one can hope.
All right,
Please watch us.
Please watch us. Or listen to us.
Are we down to begging now?
We haven't gotten above it yet. We're still there.
This is true. Satoko Hojo is another character. She and what's her name? Rika Furude are the youngest characters. That's not anybody you'll need to know about yet. So we're only covering the first series. But yeah, there are other main. Those are the main characters of the friend group. There are other side characters I'll mention when necessary, but they're not main characters.
Yeah.
But later on in the series, well, once again, spoiler, you kind of... Rika, you kind of realize that she knows more. She knows a lot more than what's being led on.
She's not so
She
cutesy.
she seems to be fully aware of what's going on, to the point where she knows...
Is she? Do you think she's older because they're stuck in the time loop? Like her
I know the
persona,
truth.
her persona. Okay, I guess for me, what I took away from this is that her persona is actually more mature than what she lets on. She seems to be older in knowledge, if not her body, because of the time loop. So there's parts in the anime where she just starts discussing what's going on, and she goes from this very
Childlike,
otaku
innocent.
like little girl,
Yeah,
and
innocent
then
child.
bam, like total seriousness. I'm like, what the hell?
And, I mean, not to spoil anything for you, you're pretty correct. I mean, she is fully aware of this loop. She is trapped within this loop.
I don't know why you're gloating. He was like explaining it to you the whole time.
I'm gloating. All right, I gloat.
But like, you know, technically all the characters are. Everybody in this series is
Everyone
stuck
in that
this.
loop.
She's the only one that's fully aware of it each and every time, though.
Well, even like the little girl Satiko, or
Satiko.
yeah,
Yes.
she knows
doesn't
a
know.
lot more.
She doesn't know.
The one,
The little blonde-haired girl?
no,
That's
the other one, the blue-haired one.
That's Rika.
Rika.
That's who we were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about. She's the one who knows.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other girl.
No.
Oh.
Rika is the only one that's fully aware of everything.
Mm.
And another character, but y'all haven't been introduced to her, but it's in the second season. I don't want to spoil anything for y'all.
Or for y'all.
Well, I like you two more than our audience. No, I'm joking.
We're editing that out.
No, but basically, yeah, that's how it goes with her. And like I was saying about the arcs, each arc, it's hard to explain. Each arc, it points. You get to see a perspective, but get a little bit more of that overarching story each time. There's just
Gives little clues every time.
Yeah, it gives little clues each time, even though the story is technically different for each arc.
Yeah, but the clues are for that overlining.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember at one part where I forgot, it was like two characters couldn't show up to this one like event, and then you learn why it happened, but then they're able to avoid it and actually go to the event.
Yeah.
Instead of that, I forgot what it was, something happening that prevented them from going, they avoided it and went to it. So,
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, basically, it's all connected.
It's kind of weird to be vague here, because it all sounds weird.
Well, we already gave a spoiler. You don't have to be that vague.
No,
yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't have to be that vague. But, all right, next we'll kind
Gohan's dead again.
Sorry, inside joke on that one. Tomoetake is a photographer in this anime, and he's
The voice actor is
Gohan.
Kyle Herbert.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure if that's his last name, but the voice actor for adult Gohan in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So every time in a different arc he would die, and I'd be like, Gohan, no! No,
well,
Gohan!
he dies in every single arc, doesn't he?
He dies in every single
Yeah, I was
arc.
like, oh, look.
There are certain events that always happen.
Yeah. He got killed in a landslide. He got killed by a knife. He got killed by a bee or something. I don't know.
No, like, he always dies the same way. He always claws his throat out. By the way...
There you go.
By the way, this
remember that
anime
part.
is very violent and
Very gory.
Gory.
Well, it's a deconstruction, like you said, so you're gonna probably see that.
Oh, yeah.
Like School Days?
No,
See,
not that
honestly,
bad.
School Days is so mild, and I don't see why people rate it
It's not that mild.
I don't know.
It's
whole-
graphic.
I'd say the most mild deconstruction so far is probably Madoka.
And
But
even
it's
then,
more twisted on like a mental level.
Little
Yeah.
girl got her head bitten off.
This is true, but
But you
really
didn't see all of School
show
Days.
it.
I saw. Anyway.
You didn't see not even enough.
We should do a podcast on School
No. That's not.
We'll need Joseph for that one.
Days. I got an idea. We'll leave it up to our viewers. If they want us to watch all of School Days,
Or Thomas, we've already seen it.
yeah.
No, please.
Take a vote now.
Take a vote now. Comments.
I don't want to die.
All right. Next thing I want to introduce is the town of Hinamizawa itself, because Hinamizawa is a character in the story. There are a lot of myths, legends surrounding this place, and that's where most of this.
Why is this time loop happening?
Exactly.
Or what's it doing to these people?
Exactly. It itself has a major role in the whole series. There's lots of theories on why this is happening.
It's almost like the island on Lost.
It's got a weird cotton drifting festival.
That's one of the arcs, yes. Got the Cotton Drifting Festival. That always seems...
This sounds menacing.
How is that menacing?
I
They
don't
drift
know.
cotton in a river.
Well, isn't that like kind of
But
a
say-
reference to an actual
Yes, but-
festival in Japan?
Yeah.
Well, in their town,
Wasn't
it
it-
actually references... originally it was intestines that they floated down the river.
Yeah, not threatening at all, huh?
No.
No, of course not.
It's cotton drifting, not intestine drifting anymore.
derived from intestine drifting.
Okay, anywho, the town itself is...
Thomas is a Tinder guy.
I am.
the
Why watch Gundam?
the legacy and the legend of the town itself is that the town was based off of townspeople who were considered to be demons, or at least half demons themselves. So their deity, I'm going to butcher this, but Orishiro. Basically, their demon deity is what the reason that they believe, like, most of these murders, which happen all the time right after the Cotton Drifting Festival, someone always gets spirited away, quote unquote.
You
and
think
another
some
is
villager
murdered.
would be like, maybe we shouldn't have these cotton drifting festivals because someone always disappears.
Maybe we should worship the Lord
Well,
Shoshomuru?
technically, they didn't start until they in Hinamizawa. It's a small little village town that's in between in a valley where there's a dam, and they were talking about they were talking about building a dam. Sorry, excuse me. They were talking about building a dam in where their river is, which would completely
that's right. Yeah,
flood
flood the town.
the,
Yeah.
flood the village. Yes. But, obviously the villagers were like, no, we live here, and they were going to relocate them. They were just going to flood them there, but they were going to relocate them, but nobody wanted to leave the town, so they fought the government, basically, and things happened. Some people died, and eventually the government pulled out.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of this story started,
When did this anime come out, do you know?
I think it was like somewhere around 2005.
Okay. Quick fun fact, by the way. I think, actually, has anybody read that book, World War Z?
I've read a lot of it. I haven't finished it.
Okay, like, where Patient Zero comes from is actually a town that's been flooded exactly like that. So, I wonder if Max Brooks watches sick, twisted anime and is like, I'll do this, but with zombies. That might be fun.
Probably in one timeline.
Yeah, well, I mean, the game itself released like 2002.
Maybe he's a gamer.
Max
Brooks, welcome to Select Your Player and Kon Heads.
He's like, hey guys.
Hey guys.
What's up? Yeah, no.
But with this town, there's just like so much mystery shrouded around it.
And that's the main thing about this anime. It's I'm sorry that it's very vague and very hard to talk about this anime because
you don't want to let too much out of them.
It's not that I don't want to let too much out, but also at the same time, you don't know where it starts, where it ends.
And I'll give it to
the
this.
whole anime is a mystery that you have
One
to
thing
slowly
about this
unravel.
I love about this anime is if you pay attention to like background, like radio, TV conversations, it gives a lot of it away.
Yeah, it gives a solid, story behind all of it.
Like you're hearing conversations in the background that will pertain to something in a different timeline.
Yeah,
and if you just focus on that, you can kind of
create a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're really paying attention to this anime, which you have to, if you want to keep up and understand everything.
Mm.
And I mean, it's just that's.
But I just found that one of the most appealing things about this anime.
What?
There's so much in the background that you can.
Yeah.
To
Another thing I liked about the town, like we're talking about, is that toward the end of each arc, you could feel like there was some kind of presence in the town itself. The town had its own character.
Like, it was almost like the characters were the puppets of the town.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny is that at the end of each arc, they're becoming slightly more aware of something else is going on.
Yeah.
In the town, not just around themselves. And
it's very funny that you mentioned that, because you're not far off. And I know you haven't seen the second series, so that's really good deduction.
See, I can detect things.
You usually do, but you're always asking questions during the anime.
That's true. Of course, after the first arc of this one, I was like asking a lot of questions, and I was going like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
And why is he dead?
And me and Carlos were just like, just keep watching, Thomas.
And I don't want to keep watching. I gotta find this shit out. What happened?
Yeah, it's it gets pretty crazy. I mean, like I said, the arcs themselves, we got the first one, which is the Spirited Away by the Demon chapter. It has each chapter has its own theme, and they talk about it like throughout the thing. Is like, oh, he was spirited away by the demon and stuff like that. Like, that's all through that one. And then like the Cotton
Drifter one, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Cotton Drifting Festival, they focus more on that event, the Cotton Drifting Festival. Then you got the Curse Killing chapter, and it's just talking specifically about what is it? Well, killing, obviously.
Well, there's one where
the Curse Killing one, wasn't that about the sisters?
Yeah, but that's one where they actually like go to a different perspective of one of the timelines.
Where they're
No, that was actually that's the arc that's missing from here. That's the 5th arc that's in the box set that I have, but for some reason isn't listed.
Maybe they're just including as that part of the arc.
Probably, since it was only like 2 episodes. Yeah. Or it was a shorter arc. But I thought the Curse Killing one was about the 2 sisters, and kind of which one was good, which one you could rely on, which one you were kind of having your doubts about.
And what's funny is that
you find out about the family history and why this is going on.
Too,
you start learning about the Sonozakis and the 4 great families.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4, I think.
I think it was 3.
The Furudes, the Sonozakis, there was this third one. I forgot what it was. But
Kuwabaras?
Not the Kuwabaras.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's stuff. Yeah. But I mean, there's lots of theories. Like I said though, the second series pretty much explains most of it. Though.
Is that like the closer, kind of just closing loose ends and
mostly,
kind of giving you more information about what was going on?
Yeah, I mean, the second series isn't like the first where it's in arcs. It is, but you're with the characters through the whole thing.
Mm.
Okay.
There's no point where it just starts up again and it's like, oh, everything reset again. What's going on now?
Yeah.
It's like you start with the character, they go through the thing, and it resets, but they know about it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're becoming aware?
Well, specifically, it's with Rika. The whole second season, you're with Rika.
Oh, okay.
So
is
she's
this
the main
the final
character.
season, the second one? Or are they planning
for
more?
Hinamizawa.
Okay.
Which, apparently, there is a prequel series.
I don't really like when they do that prequel stuff.
It's called When They Cry also, but in the Japanese way that they word it, it means When the Seagulls Cry.
Mm.
Because it takes place on this island. Apparently,
And the seagulls are like, oh.
From what I was gathering, it's where the curse originated.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But I haven't seen that one myself. Actually.
No. Is it out? Is it available to see? Or
Yeah. You can watch it.
Oh, okay.
The whole thing.
Just haven't gotten to it yet.
Just haven't gotten to it yet.
So much on our plates. So much anime.
So much anime. So
I have-
Not unlike Jared, who
I personally have like 5 going on right now. Just adding to my list.
I've only got 2. Oh yeah, laugh at the mere mortal.
That's hilarious, actually.
Okay, apparently Jared. Okay, so for us mortals down here, Jared has a rather large repertoire of animes under his belt. Apparently, he has 221 animes
And counting.
In counting. Carlos, yours like in the what? The 300s, 400s?
Isn't 300s?
In the 300s. I'm in like the mid 40s.
Oh, that's adorable.
But I don't regret watching any of them.
I don't regret watching most of
Oh,
mine.
I take that back.
I don't finish series that I don't like, so...
I finish everything I see.
I take that back. I do regret watching...
You haven't seen Excel Saga?
That's unwatchable. That is
Viewers, don't listen to him.
That's literally
We will
unwatchable.
kill him.
We'll let them decide what they watch.
I didn't like Gundam Seed or SD. I'm just saying. But who does?
There's probably like 50 people you offended.
I don't
you
care.
just upset like half our viewer base.
Half the Gundam base.
I don't need them!
We're down to 1 viewer.
We need you. We need you
We
back.
need you guys. You guys are our favorites. We'll send you stuff.
No, you don't.
So, Carlos, do you have a favorite arc of this anime, or one you love watching?
The last arc.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Because Rena Ryugu is my favorite, and her story just...
The one with the meat cleaver?
Yeah.
Yes.
She kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I know, ain't it great? Her story, it's the reason it speaks to me so well, and the reason I find it the most disturbing and sinister is that she's the most unlikely. She is just
The
absolutely
cutesy, like
happy.
bubble-headed one.
Doesn't she
go
like
lucky,
hide
but
somebody in a fridge?
she cuts them up and then.
No.
hides
She.
them.
It was her dad, wasn't it?
No, it was her dad's girlfriend.
Girlfriend, that's it.
Who was playing what they called a badger game on him.
Well, I guess you know why. She's
And that just
crazy.
So
Pot
she
steam.
confronts her, and the lady's like, "Oh, would you?" She's like, "Oh, me and your dad are getting pretty serious," and she's like, "Oh, is that right?" And
We'll
she's
see
like-
about that.
And then she's like, "Yeah, actually, I was thinking your dad asked me to marry him today." And then Rena, straight faced, just looks at her as like, "I would never allow that to happen. You can date, but you can never marry him." And then she just like, "Well, look here, little bitch." Then it gets fucking serious, and I was like, "Yes!"
That was pretty crazy.
That was an awesome arc. Like it,
Pretty freaky.
yeah.
Thomas, what was your favorite arc?
My favorite was probably the first one.
Keiichi's.
Yeah. Just for the ending alone, because I was going like...
What is going? No,
No, the
It was your
ending, because
first-
I was like, guys, what happened? Guys! Guys! And then I was like asking Carl, like, what happened? What? Did he kill him? Was it the demon? Was it the demon?
It was the demon.
It was the demon, wasn't it?
And we're like, Thomas, let's go to the next arc.
let's go to the next.
I was like, no!
I want some answers.
But you're not getting the answers, Thomas. I'd have to say my favorite arc was probably the curse killing arc. The one with the 2 sisters. And it
Yeah.
ends up like in that dungeon.
Oh my god!
yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That one's a good
Well,
one.
what-
No, no, that pit that they dropped.
See,
them
I
in?
like
Yeah.
the
Oh my God.
the explanation. I think it was the Revelation arc. I'm pretty sure it was some. No, the eye-opening chapter. That's what it was
the first
called.
one.
Yeah.
That was the 5th arc that wasn't on that list.
Mm-hmm.
The eye-opening chapter. I like that one because it shows. Because throughout the entire curse killing arc, you think it's Mion the whole freaking time.
Mhm.
Then you realize in the eye-opening chapter it was Shion.
Shion.
Pretending to be Mion, and then you're just like, "What the fuck?"
No,
It all makes sense.
when she
now.
dropped that dead body, or that of her sister down that pit, I was just like, things have taken a dark turn, guys.
Guys, I know what kind of anime this is.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
It was so good.
Also, that part where like Shion, I believe it was, confronted that little girl that we were talking about.
Oh, Rika.
Yeah, when they confront each other.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
When
And then she goes into her adult voice. Yeah.
Yeah, and then she's just like, what can you do? You're just, she was like,
I like when she's like, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of killing me. And she just like puts that knife in the wall.
Whoa, wait for that.
okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. Dang it. All right.
No, oh my god.
Okay. Alright, we kind of already touched on this a little, but more in depth, do y'all have... I mean, I've already seen the second series, which pretty much wraps it full circle, honestly. But do y'all have any, like, theories on what's going on?
I guess, like, what mine was, I kind of touched on it when we first started, was, what's the purple hair... Yeah, purple-haired
Rika.
girl. Thank you,
Rika Furude.
I can't talk tonight, which is really a shame on a podcast. Anyway.
Yeah, because we can't see you.
I keep forgetting her name, too.
Yeah. Apparently, from what I can understand, is that she is trapped in this time loop where everything repeats itself, but every time it's a little different. And she's the only one aware of it, but I don't know how long she's been there, and so her attitude and her mind changes, it matures, and so she's not really a kid anymore, but she pretends like she is one.
Like a real Homura effect.
Homura.
And that's just my theory, and there's one thing that Carlos pointed out to me, is that each arc starts off with the detective initiating a conversation with one of the characters, and that's how each arc starts. And like in the last one, it goes down to Rika, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, it's my turn now," and I'm like, "What?" And so that's just my theory. It's not a game theory, but it's a theory.
Game theory.
I think that's
Sorry,
the
we're
theory
watching
that
that,
the
right?
anime wants to get across. It's the one that they want you to just assume. As myself, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that's probably the one. Because I have the same theory. And Carlos kind of walked us through it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the theory we adopted.
It was kind of nice when Carlos was there, because he helped answer some of the questions when we're just going like, "Hey."
Well, I love movies, comics, stuff that does that leaves you like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
That you have to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that, but it was kind of nice to Carlos to actually like confirm, like, yeah, you guys got it right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, good. We're using deduction. We're actually getting this.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That was mine. So that's a big theory in my book.
Yeah. Did you kind of have the same theory, or was that what you were thinking when you first watched it, Carlos? The whole...
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much knew going into it already, because, I had...
His deconstruction experience.
Yeah, I mean, after the second arc, or the first arc, I kind of was like, okay, I see where this is going, and why it's pieced in arcs, and I was like, there is an over...
I think one of the bigger problems I had when I was watching it that I couldn't connect is I was focusing on each arc in general and not connecting them. Because each arc is pretty compelling.
See, like, the way I was going into it was big picture. Like,
Yeah.
I was not focused on each arc individually.
I mean, for me, that it kind of hindered me, but also helped me pick up on a lot. And so when I put it all together, I'm like, oh.
I've watched enough Conan Case Closed to kind of pick up on that.
The truth will prevail.
Oh, my God.
That anime helps you with those other animes.
Oh, man.
But no, I mean, for me, I had some slight problems because I was just focused on each arc in general and not focusing on the entire big picture until, like, the last arc, and then I started putting everything together. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. So, I don't know. What's the next topic, by the way, segueing into this, Carlos?
Segue.
We're going to lean forward a little bit.
Paul Blart, this bitch.
The gore. Your
Okay.
The
thoughts?
beautiful gore.
God.
This is what the anime is famous for. The over the top. Some people say over the top. Some people say
Under the
just-
top, over the top, around the top,
Just
through the top.
A lot of people say way too excessive. I say they made it in art form, honestly.
Yeah.
It didn't take it away from the anime, personally, from what I think. I think it was getting the point across of that this anime is they're trapped in this horror show, you know?
Yeah.
They're trapped in an endless cycle of seeing their friends get killed,
Disemboweled.
kill each other, get killed, or, you know, just really messed up things, you know? Most of them aren't aware of it, but Rika is, and when by the second season, you kind of realize that she's been going through this a long time.
Yeah.
And she has seen this time and time again.
Is that why she says to one of the sisters, "You're not gonna have the pleasure of killing me," because maybe that's happened before?
Yeah, she knows how they do it. You know, she doesn't want to give them that pleasure.
Okay, that makes sense.
And all this gore is to be expected, especially because it's a deconstruction. It usually tends to go to the more serious route
or gory route.
So you can kind of, if someone tells you this is deconstruction, you should probably just expect that by now.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, Monica was probably the least gory deconstruction I've seen. But, like, Gantz is a deconstruction. And everybody knows how that one is. I mean, and then you got
School Days,
which honestly didn't have really any gore.
It's more of a moral kind of...
It's just morally, just a complete moral corruption, and then the end kind of just where they really throw it over the top to really seal in the bitter taste in your mouth, to make you just absolutely go, that was disgusting. I need a shower after that.
And that's exactly what I thought.
And I love it. See, I am one of the few, and y'all can hate me all y'all want.
I cried in the shower after that.
Y'all can hate me all
you didn't watch it.
Yeah, you haven't watched it.
I'm just saying, I watched that ending. I don't know why you guys made me watch it.
You haven't. You don't
even know
the satisfyingness of it.
Carlos, I don't hate you for it. I watched it. It made me feel bad, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, see that's the thing about it is like I enjoyed it because it made me feel like I need a shower.
That's what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel something.
Yeah, inspire you to feel things.
It doesn't always mean good.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it has to be a good feeling.
Yeah.
They wrote a story that literally angered me. Hated a fictional character with such just detest that I wish I could make him real just so I could kill him myself.
He is like the worst of humanity, especially like a man. He does everything wrong.
Yeah,
everything you were taught as a kid wrong, and you hate him for that.
Exactly.
And the worst part is he doesn't care.
Yeah,
he doesn't care what he did. He's proud of what he did. He'd
probably he doesn't see it as wrong. That's the thing. It's like it's not that he. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just he doesn't see it as wrong. You know?
He's not a sociopath.
I
like that you both hesitated.
But anyway,
and I mean, even the other characters. Honestly, the only character that I didn't absolutely detest, I just felt absolute sad for was the main girl. The main love interest. But anyways, we got off onto
tangent.
Days.
Nice tangent there.
Anyways, this isn't the School Days thing.
That's a preview for the next podcast.
Well, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, we're gonna make you watch it because you have to see this.
It's gonna be like a sad podcast with these two, and Joseph.
I'm gonna have an internal rain cloud over my head.
Just like, why is it so
There's gonna be so many
warnings.
warnings.
We're talking about School Days, guys. What we need to move back.
We probably should wrap up on Higurashi.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
The gore, I guess. Okay. What was your most shocking part, I guess, of the gore? I mean,
what's the one that really stuck with you as God, man, that's messed up?
Not really much of it. Probably the fridge.
The fridge?
Yeah, because like I said, I saw YouTube videos about the part with
the knife.
Yeah, okay. So that wasn't a big shocker to me. The fridge was because I didn't see that. But yeah, that was pretty not shocking, but like wow, they went there.
Probably the one that just like made me cringe the most was just like, man, that's messed up. When Shion Shion, or not Mion, Shion. It was Shion.
It was Shion.
Pretending to be Mion.
In a partridge in a pear tree.
Was stabbing Sadako while she was tied up on that cross, and just like going into it, and then Sadako wasn't screaming. Instead, she was just saying, "Look, brother, this is I'm big now. I can handle even this."
So that one just really stuck with you.
It just stuck with me.
That was pretty shocking. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, she was just like, I can handle even this, brother, you know.
Yeah.
And because she's sad at losing her brother, who is a side character. I mean, he pops up in conversation in like 2 or 3 of the arcs. In the second series, you kind of start knowing the full story behind him, which there is a bigger thing. And
he's part of that curse.
Honestly, the second series, you start figuring out a lot about, like, you know, Tomoetake, what's her name? The weird reporter-looking chick, the blonde-haired girl.
Yeah.
She always shows up at the Cotton Drifting Festival.
It's a lot bigger. A lot bigger.
You see the scope
deeper.
of this
it's
phenomena.
It's a lot bigger in scope. Yeah, like it's just like, it's not just these people in this village, you know.
Yeah.
It's this outside, these other people coming in, and just it's a lot.
Thomas, what gored you out?
It's kind of weird. I mean, probably the one with the knife, but the other one that kind of just got me because I wasn't expecting it, and it's probably the guy. What's the main character's name?
Dang it, Keiichi.
Keiichi. Where he's in the phone booth.
Man!
End of the last arc, and he doesn't want to turn around because he's
first arc.
Yeah, the first arc.
The end of the first arc. Yeah.
And he doesn't want to turn around because he knows that if he does, you know, there's something behind him and it's going to kill him.
Yeah.
And then you find out he clawed out his own throat.
Yeah.
I mean, that
was a good,
you hear it.
Yeah.
You hear the whole thing. It's like 30 seconds of that shit.
Yeah, just like him ripping out his own freaking throat.
And I was just going like, what happened? And then the other one that got me was the one that Jared saw on YouTube, so it didn't freak him out as much, but it kind of like, I'm like, oh my god.
Rika.
Is where Rika and, is it,
Shion, technically,
yeah,
yes. It's confronted by Shion.
Yeah, and she's probably going to try to kill her. And Rika goes like, you know what? And she goes into her serious voice, and she's like, you're not going to kill me. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. So she picks up this butcher knife, puts it against the wall, and then starts stabbing herself in the freaking throat.
Head.
No, throat.
The throat?
I mean, just multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's happening, Carlos? Why are we watching this?
We should be watching School Days.
Right?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, but those were some gory moments.
Well, not only that, but they also found Rika in the field with her intestines like removed.
Disemboweled,
Yeah.
you can just say it. Disemboweled,
Disemboweled.
completely just ripped.
And there's like one flash where you kind of see it, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, no, and then they just show a full frontal. Oh yeah, she's completely organless.
Yeah.
And crows are eating her innards.
Yeah.
Those crows, man, they don't care.
They don't.
So, we should probably wrap this up. Is there any last thoughts or anything you want to say?
1 to 10, what would you give this anime?
This one, it rates pretty high for me because it's one of my favorite deconstructions, and deconstruction is my favorite genre, so like a 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Easy 9.5.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
about you, Jared?
I'd probably give it a 7.5.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I like deconstructions. They're not my favorite genre, but I really did enjoy this anime.
For me, I'd probably get an 8. Because one thing is, it kept me I had no clue what was going on the entire time, and that's I can normally pick up things, but this time I actually had to like get pieces of paper and find out and connect the dots. Literally, I had to read analysis of each chapter before I moved on to the next, because like
what just happened?
What just happened? Because that was freaking amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about this anime. Kept you guessing.
And we kept
you going.
We kept talking about it too after like the first arc ended, the second arc ended, and we did this over the period of like 2 weeks. We didn't watch it all at once.
Yeah.
And that kind of helped too. Is that it helped us
Digest.
absorb it? Yeah, for one thing. And we just didn't find everything else or everything out at the same time. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for this podcast. Thank you for listening. This is Kon Heads, and with me is
Carlos
and Thomas.
And this was Jared. Thank you for watching.
Bye.